Recently, at the Cobquid Wildlife Rehabilitation Centre, we admitted a mature bald eagle. This eagle came from a location near Dundee, Nova Scotia. When she first came in, she was pretty active, but also somewhat subdued. And she had some injuries to her feet. She had a black eye on her left side, some injury on her eye, and also some bruising to her left wing. So we think it might be part of a territorial dispute that she didn't make the best of. We tested her for lead, and she was positive for lead. So then the next step would be to take her in for x-rays to look for broken bones and if any fragments remained inside her digestive tract. We use this box to transport the eagle. It's easier to take her out from the top than it is to take one, say like a dog kennel, and try and take her from the front. So when we x-ray the animals at the Central Nova Animal Hospital, we anesthetize them so that they are asleep during the process. It makes it easier for us because the bird's not moving, and it's less stressful if the bird is asleep. Also allows us the opportunity to have a closer examination, physical exam. So we'll take a closer look at the injuries to the feet and the wings and the eye and see what's up with the bird. So all the bald eagles that we get in, we will wrap their feet once they're asleep on the table. We do this to protect ourselves and the bird in case they suddenly wake up from anesthetic. It's happened before. So both feet are wrapped. We usually put a ball of paper towel in between the talons and then wrap the outside with a material called vet wrap, which is the same sort of bandage material a veterinarian would put over a dog's leg if they had a cut. So once that's done, then we move on to the x-ray process. So the x-rays give us a clear idea of whether or not the bird has broken bones. It's quite obvious when they're broken. And we'll do a series of shots. So the first one is what we call a birdogram. It's just an over-body view of the animal, just to look for anything really obvious like shot. And then once the bodygram is done, we will then x-ray individual parts. So we'll x-ray the left and right wing, we'll x-ray the head, we'll x-ray the lower torso and the feet. And that will give us a clear indication if there's any injuries to those parts of the body. Fortunately for this bird, there were no breaks, which is great, and also there was no lead fragments in the digestive tract, which was also great. So here I'm positioning the eagle's feet for the x-ray, for the lower abdomen and foot x-ray. And to do that, we stretch out the legs, and we use this lead-lined glove to basically stretch the legs out as a counterweight. Move her over, so you want the center line down the center of the body as well. And then slowly position the body in the correct spot for the x-ray. And now just positioning the bird for a head x-ray. This gives us a shot of the skull. Okay. So once the x-rays are done, then we will move on to what else needs to be done with the bird. So in this case, she will be getting another chelation treatment. The chelation is a drug that will help bind to the lead in her bloodstream, and then she'll be able to excrete it out through her kidneys as she would normally. Also, we'll give her some fluids just to top her up. Birds can get dehydrated when they're stressed or in shock.
Bind up her lead and hopefully help her excrete it.
And also some antibiotics for the bruising in case there's any infection, and some pain meds because the injuries would likely be painful as well. This bird also has a brood patch, and that's a sign that she's ready to sit on some eggs. So we're not sure if she already has some eggs ready to go or if it's just in preparation for that. Here Dr. Van Donick is about to give the bird some subcutaneous fluids, that's below the skin, and this will just give her a little top up in case she's a little dehydrated from the anesthetic. And once the fluids are done and everything else is complete and the injections are done, we will band the bird. That means we put a leg band on it with an identifier number. And this way we can track which bird is which, because we currently have 5 eagles in our flyway, and without the band numbers it might be difficult to tell them apart if the if the markings weren't completely distinct. So the band is just this aluminum ring with a rivet hole, which we put a rivet through, and then it holds it in place quite snugly. And that will be permanent. That will be with the eagle once it's released. So if the bird is ever found again, the band number can be tracked back to us, and we'll know the outcome of the bird. We actually had one bird come back that we had released before, and we knew it was our bird because of the band number. So now the bird is ready to be woken up, and we're removing the foot wraps just so that we don't have to do that while she's awake.
Some stuff tears.
At this point, the anesthetic is turned off and she's on oxygen and she's starting to wake up. So here she wakes up, and sometimes they can struggle quite a bit when they're waking up, like this bird does, and can be quite a handful to hold on to. So this is why we hold on to them as they're waking up, because they'll thrash around. They still wouldn't be able to fly or stand because the anesthetic would have their muscles pretty sleepy. So we hold on to them so they don't hurt themselves and also don't hurt us. This is a very big bird. She weighs 5.5 kilos, about 11 pounds, and has quite a large wingspan. So here Dr. Van Donick is just examining the eye one last time, though that was injured, and it's slowly starting to heal as well. So we hold on to the bird until she's ready to stand. So I'm going to transfer the bird over to a volunteer who will get some experience holding on to a very large bald eagle.
Face. Bring her into your body. Okay.
Handling large birds of prey can be quite challenging, especially if they're strong and fully healthy and awake. So to learn how to handle them properly, it's always a good opportunity when they're just waking up from anesthetic, because they don't have a lot of strength yet and they're still a little disoriented. So we can then help train some new people on how to handle these birds. Once you have a hold of their feet, that's pretty much the key to large birds of prey. Their strength comes from their talons, and if they can't use them, then they're pretty much restrained. You do have to keep them low enough away from your face so that they can't turn around and bite you. We often wear a face shield if the bird is really active. In this case, the bird was not. So a great teaching opportunity for anybody who's interested in learning how to hold these birds and restrain them. The big leather gloves are important. They prevent any talons from penetrating if you happen to not grab the bird in the right way. Also, they can't turn around and bite through the gloves. The gloves are very, very heavy. And so again, we place her in the box for transport back to our center. This box is great. It's an old printer box that we found, and has these little clips that latch the top down nice and secure, and it's just the right size for bald eagles and
not broken.
large birds of prey.
Yes.
So back to the center, where we take the bird back into the nursery, where we provide our critical care, and she'll be here for a couple of weeks in this building until all the lead has gone from her system. We'll provide some more chelation treatments. We'll take blood and test again to make sure that there's no more lead remaining in her body. And once that's done, we can then bring her down to the large building into the flyway where the other eagles are, where she can begin to learn to fly again. I don't think this bird will have too much difficulty. She's very strong, very active, very alert, and I think the prospects for her recovery are very good. So she'll be here for a couple more weeks and then down to the flyway and hopefully back into the wild in the not too distant future.